Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jesse Silva from the 6th Round Vlogs, back with another MMA Wednesday. I think maybe I'll just run with that and just keep calling it that. Anyways, if you're here, it can only mean one thing, and that means we have fights this weekend, and they are absolutely free, so save your dollars, as the headline is a clash between one former title holder and one former title contender. And if you like this video, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and of course, ring that notification bell, because you can bet your damn ass we're going to be coming out with more and more content, so just stay tuned, because 6th Round is just getting started. As we fly back home from London, we are going to land at the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, and we are just going to start it off right away with the co-main event. We got a heavyweight clash between new contender on the scene, Justin Willis, going against current top 5 contender in Curtis Blaydes. Justin Willis is 4-0 since coming into the UFC. He is undefeated underneath this umbrella, beating top names like Alan Croder, and of course, in his final outing, putting Mark Hunt into retirement. You look at him aesthetically, he doesn't look scary, but this is a very well-rounded fighter. It's not like back in the 90s or even back in the early 2000s where these big fat heavyweights would just come in and just hope and dream on that one punch to put you to sleep. These guys are well-versed in the art of mixed martial arts. They can fight on the ground, and we can see time and time again, Justin Willis can fight standing up. He has tremendous knockout power. And as we saw in his outing against Mark Hunt, he has tremendous precision with his boxing and fantastic head movement. But don't kid yourself. If Justin Willis gets you to the ground, he's gonna get your back and choke you the hell out. 3 of his fights in the UFC have came via unanimous decision. There was no ifs, ands, or buts whether or not this guy can go the full 15 minutes, because he absolutely can, because of the reasons I just said. Duh. Now, when we look at Curtis Blaydes is a huge heavyweight, and the one difference we can pick off right away is Curtis Blaydes has fought way heftier competition than Justin Willis has. Curtis Blaydes actually his only 2 losses have come to current heavyweight knockout scary specimen in Francis Ngannou. He's knocked out Alexei Oleinik, Alistair Overeem, and he has also beat Mark Hunt, smashed Cody East, and ripped apart Daniel O'Mallarian. O'Mallarian, Chuck. I'm so sorry about the pronunciation for your name, but really, I'm not like a speech enthusiast and stuff. I'm just here for MMA. We look at the reach of Curtis Blaydes. That's what he's been known for a long time. People haven't been able to get into that reach, and he is a very tall fighter. Having said that, Justin Willis, although he's a little bit shorter than Curtis Blaydes, he bears virtually identically the same reach. We're talking about 80 inches for Curtis Blaydes, 79.5 inches for Justin Willis. And just like Justin Willis, Curtis Blaydes can stand up on his feet and bang with both his legs and his fists, but he is also not afraid of the ground game. I think this is just gonna be one of those fights where, since they are both well-rounded, they're gonna stand at bay. It's not gonna be as exciting as you think. I think Curtis Blaydes, especially in his last fight against Francis Ngannou, maybe he was just scared because it was the first and only guy to have defeated him. He was a little hesitant in his approach, and he was afraid to get in and a little bit sloppy dropping that hand. But if he drops that hand against Justin Willis, it's going to be night-night. Justin Willis is coming into this fight with a fire under his ass. Like I said, he is undefeated in the big lights. 4 fights in the UFC, 0 have been losses. Curtis Blaydes is probably somewhat, no matter what he says, a little bit mentally defeated. He got smoked twice by someone he thought he'd be able to come back and take out, but he was unsuccessful in doing so. So when that happens, especially twice, you have to go back from the drawing board and realize that there's something fundamentally incorrect with your game plan, and it needs to be addressed in training camp, and it needs to be fixed. Can Curtis Blaydes do it? I sure the hell hope so. Losing twice, especially to the same person, can do something to your morale. It can do something to your ego, your confidence. If I'm gonna break this down, I think Justin Willis is gonna be more the aggressor. He's gonna be so confident and so happy walking into that octagon. I think the pace of Justin Willis is gonna be too much to handle and overwhelming for Curtis Blaydes to actually think through his game plan, and I think he's gonna get caught, taken to the ground, and just honestly, night-night. I think he's gonna go out cold, KO knockout, absolutely. Now, when we go to the main event, we are talking about one man who has the biggest highlight reel kick. It wasn't a knockout for those who don't know and say it is, but really don't know what the hell we're talking about. We're talking about Anthony Pettis, Showtime Pettis, the Showtime kick when he jumped off the cage and spun kicked Ben Henderson right in the damn face. He is going against Mr. Miyagi's protege. Not really, but straight up a karate master, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. If we're just looking at the resumes by itself, what they bring to the table, it is going to be an amazing fight, an amazing display of martial arts with a lot of crazy techniques being thrown, and you can guarantee they will be thrown. They're both coming off losses, both ready to jump back into that win column, and of course, Stephen Thompson's was another kickboxing-esque style fight where he took on Darren Till and unfortunately lost by unanimous decision. And when we look at Anthony Pettis, virtually the same style fight that he had in his last outing, but he got TKO'd against Tony Ferguson. But we saw some amazing things in that fight from actually each of those. We're gonna stick to Stephen Thompson for a second. Stephen Thompson, besides that loss, he only lost twice before in the UFC and won no contest. One no contest coming to Tyron Woodley and one loss coming to the former champ Tyron Woodley. And of course, in one of his first fights ever with the UFC, losing via decision against Matt Brown. He is so methodical, and with his reach, he uses it. He's so calculated and just wait for his moment to counter. Sometimes it can be very boring, but that's how he is able to avoid tons of damage in every single fight that he's in, including the one-punch knockout power king in Tyron Woodley. Not so much anymore. But thank God for one thing. I know that Stephen Thompson, the one thing that really differentiates himself from Anthony Pettis is he is able to fight these ground fighters. He has an amazing takedown defense. Well, he's fought literally the best wrestlers in the division. Like I said, Tyron Woodley twice, Johnny Hendricks, Rory McDonald, Jake Ellenberger. He is able to avoid that mat, but thank God this training camp, he didn't have to do that. So I'm sure this training camp was super fun for him because he gets to work on all the skills that he loves putting on display anyways. And he's not going to have to worry about going to the mat because it's going to be very hard for Anthony Pettis, who doesn't like to fight there in the first place, to take him down because Stephen Thompson is so much bigger than Anthony Pettis. When we look at Anthony Pettis, this is his first time stepping up to 170. Like I said, his last fight was an amazing display, even though coming up short against current title contender in Tony Ferguson. Before that, playing out an amazing submission display against Michael Chiesa. Like I said, he can fight on the ground, but to be able to take down a guy like Stephen Thompson, you're going to need tremendous power and tremendous timing because to get in on that karate stance and the reach of Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, good luck. The one thing for sure is Anthony Pettis is not going to be afraid to fight this bigger guy. He wanted this fight. Considering Stephen Thompson doesn't have the most devastating of knockout power, at least he doesn't really use it, I think this is going to give Anthony Pettis a chance to kind of feel him out as well and pick his shots and maybe go for those unorthodox shots that maybe Stephen Thompson thinks he's prepared for, but isn't quite because he's never really faced anybody with that risk-taking ability and hunger to try new shit and just be a human fucking highlight reel. I think the reach is going to be a big problem to Anthony Pettis, though. And I think it could also mean that this could be a very, very boring fight, even though they're both amazing fighters. But sometimes when you get two fighters, they have a very similar style, point sparring, almost counter striking ability and fight IQ. They tend to take too much of their time. And then before you know it, in their fifth round, they have to try to be more aggressive at that point because they realize the last 20 minutes of the fight, they've kind of just been going pitter-pattering back and forth, landing those point shots. I think if you want to make this a decisive victory, Anthony Pettis is going to have to close his distance. Play dirty against the cage. Give Stephen Thompson a fight that he doesn't want to do. Stephen Thompson doesn't want to fight in the ground. But if you can get him there, man, that is the way to do it. I think Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is going to win this fight. I don't think it's going to be the best fight ever, and I think it's going to win by decision. I think it's just going to be a striking match. Very nice striking, mind you, but not as aggressive as people want to see. And it's going to end up running the clock for the full 25 minutes, and he's going to get his hand raised via unanimous decision. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, hit the like, hit the dislike button. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Leave a comment, positive or negative. It doesn't matter to me at all. Let's fight. Let's argue in the comment section if you disagree with something that I'm saying. That's okay, because guess what? I don't know everything. I can't foreshadow. All I know is that it's for sure guaranteed that these two athletes are going to go in there, put it all on the line, and try their very best to give a show for the fans. Thank you so much for rolling with me again for MMA Wednesdays with the 6th round. I'm Jesse Silva, and we are going to see you next week. Peace the hell out.